Well, good morning, everybody. If you're up and about, um, I was having a hard time sleeping the night. Aches and pains, you know how that goes as you get older. So I thought I'd come on here and see if anybody else is up. Maybe you want to have a little chat, see how you're doing. I know it's a very stressful time for a lot of people with everything that's going on. So it really is a sad situation, but it is what it is, and we will survive and get through it if we all stick together and have each other's back and understand. You know, it's going to take some understanding to be able to just go with the flow as it is. And above all, I can't stress enough. I would imagine most of you were smart enough to stay away from other people, but you need to pass it on to other people. I'm amazed when I see groups of people still on the street, um, not large groups, but groups of people that they're not observing the 6 foot rule. Um, I go down and fly down by the water, and there's a walkway that goes along the edge of the water. That's probably 6 7 feet wide, and there's two people walking here, two people walking here, and they just go by each other like that. It's like I don't quite understand the thought process behind that, but hey, you know, better be cautious than otherwise, I would say, because it doesn't mean you might catch it, but you might carry it to somebody else that might catch it. So that's my only thought. Not going to preach to the choir, but I'm still a little bit amazed at there's a certain mentality among the younger population that bad things only happen to other people, not to them. But is what it is. So I thought I would just jump on here for a little while and see if anybody is up and about and wanted to join me. Um, if they don't, we'll stay on here a little while and sign off. But I didn't want anybody to feel left out there in the world that doesn't, might want to talk to somebody or at least check in with somebody. So I thought I would be that guy tonight. I know Roger at Canadian Drone Hub was tickled to death. He got his Zoom up and running, and good for Roger. And a new friend that has joined Canadian Drone Hub is going to be sending Roger one of those charging globes, the plastic clear for his new Mavic Mini, and I think that's just fantastic for somebody to do that for him. I would imagine most of you know that Roger doesn't have a lot of money and lives pretty much on what he gets from his disability insurance. And now he's going to be getting some kind of a social insurance, social retirement payment from Roger lives in Canada. And so he hasn't had the capability of, well, if I want something, I can just go out and work and make some money. Roger's got some health issues like the rest of us. Getting old is not for sissies, I was always told by a very dear friend of mine. And the funny thing about getting old is your mind still thinks you're young, but your body reminds you continually that you are not. So that's the only thing I can pass on to everybody. Enjoy your health while you have it. Doesn't mean anything less if you don't have your health. It just means that you live your life a little bit differently than others simply because you have to work around what you have. So that's pretty much the entire story of what's going on with me here in Port Huron. Mia's over sleeping on the couch. And I was tired of. I sleep in a it's a lift chair, La-Z-Boy type of thing. I sleep in that because I cannot sleep in a bed. I have a very really nice bed in the bedroom, but I don't use it. It's one of those Craftmatic beds that tilts and flips and flops and vibrates and all that stuff. But I can't lay down. I just can't anymore. So I have to do with what I can do. And I did go out today, and I flew 4 ships, and I was sitting here just editing the photos. Get the Samuel de Champlain with the barge Innovation. It's a tug barge combination. Canadian Steamship Line Welland, the Algoma Conveyor, and the Edwin H. Gott. So I still have to do the video editing on those, but it'll get done. Of that I'm sure. Normally, it was even a year ago, I would just stay up all night and get it done, but I just can't anymore. So I'm going to go over here and look just for the heck of it and see. I don't actually, let me go here on YouTube. I know that my notifications don't get out the way they should. Yeah, if you type in Paul Murray, Port Huron, and it doesn't show it there, but if you go into Paul Murray by clicking on Paul Murray, then it shows it's live. So I don't know. It doesn't, why notifications don't come out. Let me see if let me do this. I don't know if I can do this or not. Stand by. I'm going to go to my channel on the other channel, and I'm going to look and see. It doesn't let me ring my own bell. I can report myself, but other than that, not much. Okay, I'm going to close that one down. And it shows that there are 2 people watching right now, but I think that was because I was on and 2 channels. Because I don't think there's anybody still watching. If anybody is out there, just type in the chat, will you please just say hello or something so that I know that there's somebody else out there. Yeah, it was just me because now it's back down to 1 person watching. And I think I get counted in that. So but I'll stay on for a little bit longer, maybe half an hour and see if anybody tumbles, and we'll see what happens. If not, it was just good to get on here just to be a resource for anybody that can't sleep, wanted to chit chat or talk. We're here because I really do believe this is a time when maybe a lot of people are having a hard time sleeping. They're not sure who they can talk to after hours. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. He is probably in the other room saying, what the hell is he doing now? Well, maybe while I'm doing this, if you guys don't mind, I think that screen is going to change. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe edit a video while we're sitting here, just kind of, and you guys can come along for the ride. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're down here like this. And we're going to pull up the video editor. And I'm going to say I want to add a video. And it'll take me down to look through all of my pictures. Let's take a look and see what we want to do. Now, the first one I did was the Samuel D. Champlain. That was the tug barge. It isn't the more spectacular of them, but I try to do it in order, simply because, and what you can see here is all the pictures that I pulled from the video previously, so that when I post it on Facebook, I've got, Facebook allows you to put up 5 pictures. And when I post the 5 pictures, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you go 6, then it grays out 1 and you have to click on it to go to more pictures. So I keep it kind of simple, as they say. So this is probably takes, well, there's 3 processes. One is loading the video. As you can see over here, right down here, it's loading the video. The little green bar has got to go all the way across. That takes a little while to load. Once it loads, the video will come up. The first part of the video comes up in the box here. And right over here is where the timeline, all the way to the end. So while I'm waiting for that to load, what I normally would do is go over here like this to the end of the video. I would load up at the top. I'll select add videos or photos. And I go over here like that. Then I go to pictures. Up here. And I go down to my ending picture, which I always use at the end of my videos. It's the 2 dogs doing a selfie. Kind of what I'm known for. Right here. Load that. I edit it down. It automatically defaults to 7 seconds, and I usually use 4. Then I go over here to animations, and then I have it like that. So that when it plays, that's the animation. Now the video is still loading. We're only at about 50%. So the video should be loaded here shortly. What I could do right now, though, too, I also could go to Home, go to Caption, and I can load in the header, okay? And what I call the header is the introduction, okay? So what I do there is go, and I always capitalize the name, Samuel D. Is it D-E or is it D? Yep, D-E, okay. Then caps again, Sham, Champlain. And put a little spacer in there, and then no caps anymore. And I put downbound. Downbound for Huron, and that was on Saturday. That was Saturday, wasn't it? And 28th, yes. March 28th. Now, okay, so now it's there. What I also do is I'm going to hit back up here the text tools, and I'm going to click this second box over right there. What it does is it fades it in and out. So and then I usually do it for 12 seconds, 12 and a half seconds. You just select the time, start and end time. So what it does is it fades in, fades out. Like that. And then you see that it goes away. So now if I wanted to, visual effects, just give it a little touch. I think that's good enough. Yeah, because it's cloudy. And if you start adding brightness to it, too much brightness, what happens is then it washes out, and you don't want it to wash out when you render it. What I call rendering is once this done, it records it to be upplayed, and then you render it up to YouTube. So, okay, so that looks pretty good. And it's got 2 minutes and 47 seconds, which is okay. That's not a lot of time. Now, what sometimes I will do is if I go like this, and under editing, it's at 1 times, okay? And I might go 1.25. I find 1.25, the average person doesn't notice that it's been sped up at all. Because it's just 0.25 more than actual first. So that, by doing that, the length of the whole thing becomes 2 minutes and 14 seconds. You want to keep it somewhere under 5 minutes. So if you notice the ship's going by and it doesn't look too bad, let's stop it. Let's take another look at the visual and see if just a smidge more maybe. Right there. What does that look? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go up here and I'm going to save it just so I don't lose what we have right now. So then I'm going to, hey, Rick Carpenter, good morning. I'm just doing some editing on here and I thought I would you're heading back to sleep. Okay, Rick, I understand. I just came on this morning just in case somebody was up and couldn't sleep and wanted to chat with somebody, and I'm here. But you go back and get yourself a good night's sleep if you can, Rick. And thanks for stopping in. At least somebody noticed. Okay, my friend, take care. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Samuel D. Champlain. And then I'm going to put Downbound, Port Huron, Michigan. 3-28-2020. Okay. And what it says, save as type, it automatically defaults to movie project, and you just click save. You can save it now. Anytime I click up here on the save button at the top, it will automatically save it to that file unless I go to the file and I do a rename. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to have a little bit, we got to add a little music to it. So I go to the home, the music. And what I'm using is an old program. I just like it. It's called Movie Maker. So let's see. These, I have a whole list of songs that are royalty free. And let's see how that sounds. Cutting in and out simply because it's playing from here into there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip that. I'm going to go up here to Music Tool, Split. I'm going to get rid of the end, remove. Then I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to probably bring the music volume down a little bit. Usually it's pretty loud. And I'm going to then take and up here, when I'm in the music tools, I can fade in, and I'm going to fade in fast, and I'm going to fade out slow at the end. Good. All right, that's fine. So now that that's done, I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, save the movie. And I'm going to let the program suggest the settings. And you click on the top. I can pick whatever settings I want, but I let it recommend whatever the best settings are. And then it comes up and it says the file name and the whole thing, just like it did, MP4. And I just click save. And it starts the save process. Like I say, that it takes about as long to do that as it did to initially load up the program in order to do it. So right now it's probably, it's at 5%. It gives you a percentage right here. Tells you the percentage, 6%, 7%, 8%. So that's what it does. It slowly.
I lost the thread there.
Yeah, well, you lost your thread. I know your thread is a problem. So that's pretty much what I do. And then once this is done this way, then I load it up into YouTube, and that takes about the same amount of time. So as you can see, it takes about, if you really don't have a lot to change, like there's sometimes on the ships, I will speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. When I get up around the 5 or 6 minutes, I've got to cut out chunks. And some guys like to do it where they'll do they'll do a pan of the front of the ship, then they'll chop it, then they'll do a pan of the back of the ship, chop it, then go around the other side, and then do a pan from the front back around to the front, chop it. So they can get it down to about 2 minutes or less, and that's a lot of chopping. And then of course you can use the functions on here where you can do the fade in or the actual different kinds of animation between frames. And I'm just doing this just kind of the quick way. simply because I just want to get it up and done. It's almost 4 o'clock. So that's what I'm going to do. We're up to 28%. So it doesn't look like anybody else is going to join me here. So like I say, once I get this done, then I will. It comes up and says, do you want to look at it? You look at it. And if it's okay, then you have a file in there in your video folder. And then you can load that up to YouTube. Yeah, I'm only at 37%. So I think I'm going to, it's been a half an hour we've been on, and just Carpenter Rick dropped in for a second, which was great. Thanks, Rick, for stopping by. Nobody else. I sent out a whole bunch of invitations, but I'm sure everybody's probably sawing logs as we to speak. And so I'm going to probably say goodbye for tonight. And remember, everybody, at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9-ish, you'll find Roger, Canadian Drone Hub, will be on tomorrow in the morning. Then in the afternoon at 5 o'clock, you got those guys on Lawrence Novice Squads. Lawrence has his channel, Novice Squad, and they 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And I don't know whether Roger's going to be on again tomorrow night or not. Somebody, the time slot, Val has been under the weather and she's got some other issues going on. And so everybody's been trying to fill in the time slot on Sunday night, but you'll have to stay tuned for that. But Canadian Drone Hub is on every day at about 9 o'clock every morning. So if you looking for some place to go and just to partake in the camaraderie and need to talk or want to talk or be entertained, I would suggest Canadian Drone Hub. And before I sign off, I'm going to give you guys one more chance to sing along with me. Mana mana do 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 do. Mana mana do 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 do. Mana mana do 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 do. Mana mana. Everybody have a good evening or morning or whatever. So, okay, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. And like I say, we'll see everybody again soon. I'm going to keep poking along here at editing as long as I can before I fall asleep. So, bye for now.